Real life science.
ANTON PETROV put out a video, Trillions of Rogue Planets Hidden in Our Galaxy. The link is in the show notes. In our galaxy, there may be 2 to 5 times as many rogue planets, or planemos, or they call them sub-brown dwarfs, as there are stars. There are quite a few within a 20 light-year range of Earth. They're very, very hard to detect because basically what you are seeing or not seeing is just sort of a hole in space. And so far, the best way to detect them is actually using the, infrared. So it's a situation where there's a new telescope that's coming out that was almost killed by congressional funding, but it's still on its way. And they're looking very, very shortly to sort of be able to vastly expand our knowledge of these rogue planets, these small planets that were, many of them were created early in the history of the galaxy sort of being created, but there are other ones that were created through events where stars formed systems and they were unable for one reason or another to hold on to all of the bodies within those systems. So you have these dark planets that are just sort of traveling out there in between the space. And interestingly enough, there are some of them, including one that we've already specifically located, that are fairly close to us, galactically speaking. And there are several that scientists suspect might be actually good chances or options for searching for life. That planets that are large enough that have their own geothermal activity and would have, sort of oceans and whatnot, and they create enough heat through their own geothermals to be reasonable candidates for life. So I think that's kind of amazing. It's a thing that we're about to see soon, and it's a thing that I would love to see in the next couple of years as we continue on with, hopefully, the science side of Elite. I would love to see rogue planets, rogue stars, and asteroids and comets added to the game, added to the visible, interactable point of the game. We've been told that they are accounted for in the Planetary Forge, but I would love to see them as a thing in the game. All right, we also have a mystery that is near and dear to my heart, and I want to be very clear here. I'm not talking about a game mystery. I'm talking about a real life mystery, and that's the mystery behind the Pleiades. The Pleiades, we know as players of Elite Dangerous them as sort of the AXI's backyard, the place where you go to fight Thargoids. But through the real history of Earth, there is a mystery that is so bizarre and so interesting and fascinating to me. And I've come across this a few times, and I just really dug into it a little this week. And man, you go down a rabbit hole fast. This is a mystery that's so old that there are references to it in the Christian Bible and the Talmud. In Job 9:9 and 31 verses 31 through 32, Amos 5:8, there are all of these references to the Pleiades. And there are even some references, oblique ones, in Revelations. Why is it that the Greeks, the South Americans, the Aboriginal Australians, the Chinese, Africans, Japanese, Pacific Islanders, all of these peoples have ancient myths surrounding the Pleiades that predate contact with each other, and they depict the Pleiades as 7 sisters or women that are being chased or hunted by Orion. These are from all over the world. All of these different groups randomly just all depict the Pleiades as, these 7 stars that are in the southern sky at night. They have the same or very, very similar stories. And I'm talking about mythologies that go back thousands of years. It is very interesting to me. So I've linked a couple of things that you can look into if you want to look into this yourself. Space Time with Stuart Garry, Series 24, Episode 49 at the 7-minute mark. They talk about it. There's a Living Science article that talks about a recent story that was published by some anthropologists and archaeologists that go through this. And they consult with a astronomer who focuses on historical events or whatever, and he was trying to sort of place, well, maybe there was an event, maybe there was something that happened, tens of thousands of years ago, or 14,000, 15,000 years ago, that might sort of explain why all of these disparate groups formed this similar mythology around these stars, these real stars, this real constellation. And lastly, I included the wiki to the Pleiades in folklore and literature that has basically just a long list of interesting everything from Norse mythology to, the Pacific Islanders of New Zealand call the Pleiades the Matariki. In Japan, the Pleiades are Subaru, which that's where the car Subaru, that has the little stars on the hood. That's why it's after those stars. Mm-hmm. Just a very sort of interesting thing. I will warn you, if you dig into this, do not fall down the rabbit hole, because you will find everything from like biblical wackadoos to like crazy, like, man, my spirit is in this crystal and whatever, and they're gonna come back from the Pleiades. Like, you'll find lots of stuff, and I'm not saying I endorse any of that in our science section. I'm just saying that when studying the mythology of various different people, it's clearly a thing that these stars are sort of important in human history. And I don't know why. I'm not trying to offer a reason. I'm just saying this is neat and makes me wonder.
Interesting. Will, you had a comment on this?
It's totally possible that there might have been some shared event that that contributed to these shared creation myths in different cultures. But the other prevailing theory is that there's certain archetypes that everybody knows what it's like to miss their mom, or to feel dejected, or to lust after somebody, things like that. And I think that there's something beautiful about the idea that there are cultures that are separated by both vast amounts of time and space, but they still have the same stories. And I think it speaks to the connection that we all share as humans, and as we venture out into this brave new world, in space and beyond, to me, it's a little bit more impressive and more awe-inspiring if there wasn't some kind of shared event, if there just is something immutable about the human race that lends itself to these kind of stories, that they end up having so many shared, similarities. But that's my peace, love, and hippie take on that.
I feel like Giorgio Tsoukalos would have something to say about this topic, but anyway, the brown vest and crazy hair guy. Mm-hmm. Let's move on here. You had another one about the Planetary Society, Kai?
Yeah, I'm not saying it's the Planetary Society, but it's the planetary. No. All right. So the Planetary Society, which is a phenomenal group that does advocacy on behalf of all sorts of space and planetary issues. Like, they put out a good podcast and whatnot, and good articles, but they also really advocate on behalf of a lot of issues. And they have a special once a month Planetary Radio Space Policy Edition. And the May 2021 edition, it's an hour long, a little shy of an hour. Link is in the show notes. Play it in the car, play it while you're flying around. It's very, very interesting, full of useful information to keep you informed about what, why, and how our government is doing things in space. They talk about, in this episode, Bill Nelson was sworn in as the new NASA administrator in a ceremony with both past two NASA administrators present, to show sort of nonpartisan support, to show that NASA is not a left thing or a right thing. It's a human thing, and we all need to get behind it. The Biden administration has had a flurry of legislative action with regard to NASA and space, which was actually a really pleasant surprise, because Biden kind of didn't say word one about NASA the whole time he was running, and that kind of worried me. I was like, I'm not really... It's a weird situation where... I don't want to get into my own personal political beliefs, but if you got the one guy that you don't like as much, but he's actually saying, let's get to Mars, and the other guy that you kind of like a little more, but he's not saying anything about it. It makes you a little uneasy, but he's really been surprising since he's come in. He's put a lot of effort into supporting a lot of space stuff. They talk about how NASA asked for $3 billion and Congress granted basically $850 million. And NASA had planned on 2 contracts, but due to the lack of funding, they worked it out with SpaceX, who came in with the lowest bid by a factor of over 2. And they're putting a ton of their own R&D money into this. And it's the only contractor who's successfully launched humans in space. You have to keep in mind, the entire history of mankind, there are, that we know of, exactly 4 entities that have launched people into space. They are the Soviet Union first, with Yuri Gagarin, the United States of America second, China third, and Elon Musk, or SpaceX, fourth. That's kind of a big deal. Now, Blue Origins and Dynetics, not Dianetics, the weird cult people, Dynetics, Dynetics, they're a large contractor that does space stuff. But Blue Origins and Dynetics have both filed a lawsuit, and they have a lot of clout because both companies are much larger in how they have a spread out construction policy among different congressional districts. SpaceX is doing it smaller, faster, and more agile, and they're located sort of in one spot. As a result, they lack a lot of the congressional clout to like make things happen, to win arguments, but they were able to come in with the lowest, best bid, and they've already proven that they can do it, unlike the other 2. Dynetics has made tons of stuff for the government, but it's all been remote landers and whatever. They haven't made human craft, and Jeff Bezos' Blue Origin is not as far along in the SpaceX development process at this point. Artemis as a project is only the first step in a moon to Mars program. If you go to NASA and you talk to the people, they will tell you, everybody says moon to Mars, moon, that's the big thing. Congress says, they're talking about the moon program, Artemis. NASA is saying moon to Mars. They're saying we don't want to get bogged down on just going there as a dead end. We want this to not be a cul-de-sac. We want this to be a street that takes us to our final destination, which is Mars. Now, SpaceX is putting up a ton of money, and they're committed to the design and construction aimed at Mars. The other contractors were looking to aim at the moon specifically, because that's what the congressional contract was calling for. NASA's decision to go with SpaceX was both smart and pragmatic. Dynetics is a big contractor, but they're not, let's be honest, the real players here are Bezos with Blue Origin and Musk with SpaceX. And they're both in it in the mix. Musk is much more committed specifically to Mars. Bezos is just sort of more generally into the whole space milieu. So since NASA is stuck and they're underfunded and they have to choose a partner that both meets the immediate needs of the contract, but also, most importantly, shares their vision for Mars as the end goal here, NASA made the decision to go with SpaceX. It's being challenged, but the way that they do these contracts, it's pretty much a given. Like the government, if there's one thing they're really good at doing, it's locking down contracts. And less than like 12% of these are ever overturned. So SpaceX is going to get the contract. They should get the contract. And this is good for us because basically Elon Musk is putting his money where his mouth is and saying, look, you want to get there? I want to get there. I've got the money. Let's make this happen. So I'm excited for where this is going to go.